I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater. This is Winter NAMM 2017 from the Anaheim Convention Center, and I'm here with Brian and Bob. Good to see you guys. And actually, I feel like a real artist here. I'm on the demo stage, like I'm really a player, man. So like you guys are.
Part of the team. Part of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me what we have going on here. You guys have a bunch of new pedals going on.
Well, I'm going to start off with these mini Dynacomp. Little fella. It's got the volume and the sensitivity. It uses the old school script logo IC3080, which gives you that 70s kind of real squishy, nice compression sound. But there's an added attack button, which does something else, and I'll have Bob tell you that in a second. But the cool thing is that it's small, has a 9-volt in, unlike the old script logo style, and the LED, that indicator, you know, when it's on or not. Bobby will tell you about the circuit and his accoutrements.
Well, first of all, as Brian was saying, it's got the CA3080 old stock CAN IC transconductance amplifier. What that does is it gives a bit more headroom and so signal to noise, and also good transient response. But overall, it makes a very superior noise reduction system or compression. What we've done too is we added, although we get the classic Dynacomp squishy, you know, Nashville sort of sound, we add an attack button. What we do is we don't let it squish down as far, so the initial note, you can hear it pop and very chimey, and then it doesn't have far to recover, so the next note also is nice and strong. What it does is it just opens up, and it actually, from my taste too, it increases the sonic fidelity of things. It's a style. If you really want that squish Nashville thing, the button's out. If you want more of an open, a little more modern punch, almost leave it on all the time, just as a conditioner to make things more present and big. Put the button in, just leave it on all the time. It also works great if you put it in front of a tuner, so the tuner reacts really consistent. So you get a real nice, easy tuning on stage. Doesn't have to repluck it. It'll stay there longer, give you a nice, accurate reading.
Nice.
So, oh.
Nice. Just to verify his point, I generally run it first thing in the signal, so it just kind of pushes everything on, leave it on like a tone conditioner. I really like the attack function because it kind of opens it up as a little more transparent. So you still get the bouncy buoyancy of a compression, but it feels like the blanket's kind of lifted off. You know, sometimes there's like a little bit of a blanket and it's like too compressed, but it feels really fun to play. With that attack function, you still get that real nice response, but it sounds, you know, more transparent. This thing will be shipping in April, and I think the street price is $99.99. Nice. Yeah. And then so moving on to the Russian Pickle, which is our version of a like 90s square wave muff style fuzz. A lot simpler than the original Swollen Pickle that had a lot of different parameter functions. To my ears, it has a little bit less gain, and it's a little more mid-focus. So when you step on it, there's not so much competing frequencies happening. And if you already have kind of a distorted rig, or you already kind of have a little gain stage going on, you're going to be more present within the band structure. Bobby will be able to tell you about the componentry.
Well, essentially, the secret to this is the old school BC183Cs. The transistor makes a difference in how fast it turns on, the saturation, the gains of it. So these old school transistors really have just those perfect parameters that just happen to be intrinsically into the part itself. So the 183Cs really kind of separate them from the other stuff. It really makes it authentic when going back over the years. And as far as what Brian was saying, the fuzz, the way it's controlled, it's not so over the top like if you want something that really goes off the edge. The other Way Huge pedal, which is my brain is a Swollen Pickle. Thank you. Yeah, the Russian Pickle for Swollen Pickle. You can really go over the top, over the edge, and crash. This is a really focused, plays well in a band because of the frequencies are going to be so that you're not going to get lost in everything else. A lot of times you step on a pedal, it sounds great by itself, and then you get lost in the mix. This, with the focus, it really plays into the guitar, enhances the guitar tones.
This pedal, Bobby is getting a great tone from his Strat. Sometimes the single coils, they don't really play real nice with some of these fuzzes. Bobby was able to get a really good tone because of the clarity of the gain structure, and also it works great with bass because there's not as much frequency competition. This is shipping now at $159.99 as a street price.
Nice.
Moving over to the Conquistador from Way Huge, another fuzz pedal, square wave fuzz pedal. This will be a limited offering. This has a real hard gate, so it's going to give you that kind of stoner rock, desert rock kind of fuzz, but with the gate, so there's no noise. There's one little feature that I found that I really like it when I turn down the volume and I'm just barely getting that gate to open. It sounds like Velcro, and it sounds like a broken cable. It's all I'll show you that later. It has been the funnest thing at the show this year for me. Bobby will tell you about how that thing all operates.
Well, essentially, we have a line in the sand, and it's a high gain fuzz in the beginning, so that's great. Gives you all that saturation and square wave generation, but with all that gain, a lot of noise comes with it. So with this, you paint a line in the sand, and anything below that, it just doesn't go through at all. I mean, in it goes from nothing. It's not like it's kind of quiet, I still hear hiss in the background. No, this is off. So what Brian does, he plays around with that threshold so he gets different sounds. And the cool thing about, again, is because it's such a beautiful square wave, you get these also side harmonics and side bands. You're bending two notes, they kind of go in opposite directions. It's really fun. It's just a whole nother flavor and extreme tempered by that gate. So it's a usable extreme. Yeah.
And these are shipping now at $149.99 as a street price. Next up is the Il Diavolo overdrive from Italia. Our good friend Carlos Cerasi, a fantastic designer, amp builder. Another one of his concoctions. What he brought us is a mid-focused overdrive that has 3 different clipping circuits. So on the low circuit is a asymmetrical silicon. In the middle is an op amp, which is a little more open and a little louder. And then the high setting is LED circuit, where it's kind of rounding off the edges. And Bobby will tell you more about the science.
Well, the simple thing is that distortions and overdrives, they clip. So if you offer 3 different type of clipping, you're going to get 3 different types of sound. Now, with the silicon, it's a very saturated. It'll hang in there a lot longer with your sustains, keeping in the saturation mode, and it's squishy and it's real easy to get around. The op amp, it's got a lot of dynamic range. It still clips nice and hard square wave, and then it's got a linear part where as the signal dies, it gets into very clean and open. For my taste, it's really cool because it just sounds like a great amp turned up, and that's what the middle position is. The next thing in between both of those worlds are the LED. The LED clips much later and has a bit of a different rounder or sort of conduction angle, so it still has saturation more than the op amp, but much less than the silicon diodes. By the way, the silicon diodes are asymmetrical, so that also adds another flavor. So right then and then, you can get super clarity to your guitar or get that nice squishy saturation in the same pedal. Whereas before you can go out and get another pedal and another pedal. So he really did a great job thinking, what do I do to make the overdrive a little more useful for a bigger audience? El Diavolo.
Very versatile.
Diavolo, shipping now, a boutique design at a production price of $129.99 on the street. Last but not least, 6-band EQ. We redeveloped it to have higher end parts, more headroom, less noise. It comes in an attractive box. I recommend the 6-band EQ for electric guitar players. I think it's voiced really musically for that. And we also are redoing the 10-band EQ with a parallel dual out. And I recommend that for acoustic players, extended 8-9 string guitars, and bass. But whatever, it's all to taste. There's no laws, there's no rules. This is just what I recommend. It doesn't have to be followed. Bobby will tell you all about why we changed it and how it's better.
Well, with a lot of guys making little adjustments before a high gain amp, especially too. I mean, noise is a real issue, and even though the first one was low noise, you still can make improvement. So we went full force and picked really low noise op amps, good transient response. So therefore, the response and the whole overall experience is going to be a more hi-fi. That coupled in with the LEDs that are now easy to see on stage, true hardwire bypass. We just took a classic and just polished it up a bit. So the S series is the super low noise, and I tell you, it just, that little bit of dynamic range that you get makes a big difference, especially when you have, you know, some really high gain sort of stuff going on. You can put it before or even or after distortion too, especially if distortion, you really need a low gain circuit. And with front of a distortion circuit, you're going to shape the harmonic content. Post distortion, you're going to shape its overall tonality. So once again, you can have a distortion with an EQ, punching in that EQ in and out. You have two different types of distortion. One for lead, you may want to sculpt it out so that the mids pop up, roll off the highs a little, it punches out there but doesn't get strident, and then your rhythm. So it's a very, very good pedal with the...
That guy is really smart.
Well,
I
just had 2 cups of coffee, that's all.
There you go. I used one of the originals for years. I mean, it's a great thing to have on your pedal board, no question about it.
Yeah.
No question about it. So there you have it. You have 5 very cool new pedals, actually 6 if we count the 10 band, which we should. 6 cool new pedals from MXR and Way Huge. Appreciate you guys taking the time to give us a tour, and you're going to give us a playing demo on some of this stuff as well. Yes. And we also do have videos online already for the Conquistador and the Russian Pickle at our Facebook and YouTube page, as well as on the NSYNC page. And for information on everything else that's happening at Winter NAMM, be sure to check out our comprehensive trade show report at Sweetwater.com. Visit our Facebook, YouTube, all our social media. We've got lots going on here from Anaheim, California. Thanks, guys.
I know one. Contact your Sweetwater sales engineer.
You got it, man. You've done that before, right?
Before.
Nice. Thank you for joining me at the Anaheim Convention Center. I'm Mitch Gallagher, coming to you from Winter NAMM 2017.
MXR, Way Huge. See you later. Thanks, Sweetwater.